I've got here the takeaways from our Monday morning staff meeting. We have staff meetings, me and the guys, every Monday morning, and we talk about future video topics, wish lists, things like that. And I've got 3 takeaways from this past Monday's meeting. Today is Wednesday, so. All right, number 1, why do you always drink coconut water? Well, I've got a coconut water here. I like coconut water. I don't know why. Dr. Shank, I think, was worried about that.
I was the one at the staff meeting that asked about the coconut water. He's always got that coconut water, glunk, glunk, glunk. I've tried to get him to get a cup of tea, a nice hot cup of tea with a biscuit maybe, but he doesn't go for it. He likes that coconut stuff.
Number 2, why did you bring on board the cowboy? Or why did you bring the cowboy on board? Well, we're here in Texas right now, and I kind of figured that we needed a little Texas vibe in the studio. And when I did first meet Tex, he told me he had music in his heart. So and he was sitting next to a cactus. He wasn't sitting on a log like the other fellas. He was sitting right next to a cactus. If he would have sat on the cactus, it probably wouldn't have been a good thing. So,
I walked in. I went over to that Texas 2, whatever, the eyeball dude, the cowboy. I went over to his office and I knocked on the door. He said, "Come on in." I opened up the door. I said, I'm really sorry to disturb you." But in my mind, I knew he was already disturbed. That long-haired fella, he come into my office. He walked into the room. I couldn't wait till he walked out that door.
number 3, why don't you do videos on how to teach people how to play Mr. Vague songs? And I got to thinking, perhaps that's not a bad idea. I remember we did What Makes This Tune Tasty, and I started that off episode number 1 with Love Canal, which is a Mr. Vague song. And I kind of went through how to play that song and some thoughts, and included some thoughts on what makes that tune tasty. So I got to thinking, well, why don't we reserve the what makes this tune tasty topic for, other musicians and bands. So I think I'll stick to doing tasty tunes and the not so tasty tunes on other groups, bands, singers, musicians. And I'll start a small series on how to play Mr. Vague songs, how to play Mr. Vague tunes.
You think you could be a little more specific? Specific?
The songs that I will pick will be at least, hopefully, fingers crossed, they'll be tasty Mr. Vague tunes. A lot of the songs I've probably written hundreds of songs. There's probably a handful of tasty tunes. The ones that I like a lot. There's a lot of them that might get pushed over into the rubbish category. Oops, dropped my coconut water. Yeah, we just got a haircut too.
I'm glad he's doing it. It was my suggestion that he
that he put together this, how to play the Mr. Vague song, you know what I mean? Otherwise, I was starting to think he was a legend in his own mind.
I think that's it. So first up, let's get into 100,000 Deaths, which is a kind of little bluesy, folky kind of song. Let's check it out. We are going to play this without a capo. I believe on the recordings that we have out on Bandcamp or YouTube videos, I believe it's played with a capo on the 2nd fret. But let's not confuse anybody as far as the chord names and whatnot. So we're going to stick with no capo, and this song starts in an E minor, and it has a lick that goes like this, which starts on the B note, kind of anchored off of this minor chord. Okay, so that is a B to a D, to an E, to a G, back to an E, to a G, open D, to the E minor chord. Again, that looks like this. And that is really the basis of the melody. The melody's right out of this lick. Don't want you leaving me here. And then we're in an E minor chord. Don't want you walking out that door. Don't want you leaving me here. Don't want you walking out that door. And you'll notice also that that's the lick going to the E minor, but when you're going to the D, you're right here on the open D, so there is no falling back or bouncing back to that E minor with an E in it. So it falls right into the D chord. The verses of this song bounce from an E minor to a D chord. Okay? And along the E minor, we can throw in this 7th right here, this D. So if you were to play the verse, it would sound like this. And we're adding this E note here, taking this F sharp off, and bouncing off of that also. So this is basically what the intro and the verses would sound like. 2, 3, 2, bump. And again, the verse line, the words follow this lick. Don't want you leaving me here. I don't want you walking out that door. I don't want you leaving me here. I don't want you walking out that door. I just don't hear that twang. So that's the way the verses sound. So the chorus starts on an E minor. I'll die to a G, 100 to an A minor, 1,000 to a C, Des, and then up to an E minor, a B7 to an E minor. So it's kind of a bluesy turnaround. So we've got this With lyrics, it would sound like this. Don't want you leaving me here. Don't want you walking out that door. I don't want you leaving me here. I don't want you walking out that door. 'Cause if you leave me, I'll die 100,000 deaths, and then I'll die 100 more. And the last little lick there on the chorus is you're back at E, and you've got some space to fill up. Usually I either do something like this, or like you just saw. And you're right back into the next verse. So it's for the most part, basic chords. It's not that difficult to play, and it's a fun song to play too.
Don't want you leaving me here. Don't want you walking out that door. Don't want you leaving me here. Don't want you walking out that door. 'Cause if you leave me, I'll die 100,000 deaths. And then I'll die a couple of hundred more. Wow. Then I'll die 100 more. I've been feeling really low. I've been feeling really poor. I think I had 3 or 4 drinks. Now, is he talking about coconut water there? I don't think so. I think he's talking about something stronger than coconut water. I think I'll have a few more. So he's talking about having a couple of drinks. Must be depressed or something. Should have a cup of tea. I've been feeling so low. Oh, this spot right here is where the guitar solo comes in. And then the third verse, that was the first and second verse you just heard. The third verse is, I've been feeling so low. I've been feeling so poor. Honey, you're my medicine. Honey, you're my cure. So he's getting into that medical doctor type of metaphor that's been used before. But it works in this case. And the final verse, so don't leave me here, 'cause I've got nothing to live for. Oh boy. Don't leave me here. Don't you walk out that door. Not a happy song. That's the lyrics right there. 4 verses with a chorus in between and the solo in the middle. Not a happy song. Now, and I got the official lyric sheet right here. It's very destitute, very forlorn lyrics. I guess this person had a love that is leaving, or they've had a disagreement of some sort, and from Mr. Vegg's perspective, the lady friend or whatever is walking out the door or on her way out the door, and Mr. Vegg is, the singer is pleading, don't walk out the door, don't walk out the door. I got nothing to live for. I'm gonna drink 3 or 4 drinks. I'm feeling really poor. You're my medicine and my cure. So that gives you the general idea of the lyrics of the song. Like I said, not a happy song, but I kind of like it.
Now we used to play this song in the trio. We would play it in the key of E minor, not in F sharp minor like I've recorded it before. And we would play it in E minor just because it lends itself better to playing the lead section in E minor pentatonic. We bought in when Bob the Beak and I did the recording with this years ago. We bought in Donnie on lead guitar, and if you listen to the recording, he laid down a really wonderful bluesy solo. And and that again was an F sharp minor. So if you listen to the recording, it's not gonna be in. You're gonna be capoed up on the recording.
Oh, let's give that guitar solo a listen. I dig it. Can you feel it? Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Nice guitar work from Don. Oh, baby.
And I still actually, the solo that Donnie played on that song is, I use that structure of his solo for even when I'm doing it acoustically in solo shows. Oops, there goes the pick. I tend to follow that solo because it's just a tasty guitar solo. You can take this tune a step further, and if you're doing it on acoustic guitar, you can do the finger style or finger picking kind of thing and get into the some kind of, you can get into some alternate picking. You know, that kind of thing, flipping from a D string. And I had this worked out when I used to do, when I used to play this in solo shows, where I would use, you know, had the solo, guitar solo, and I used, you know, bass drumming with my thumb, and had the solo worked out with the different bass notes on different strings and solos worked out in different areas. You know, similar to that kind of thing, with keeping the bass note with the thumb, an alternating type of bass line, or bass, yeah, alternating type of boom, boom, boom. And you work that into the chords, or the chorus, I should say, and the other chords in the chorus, and it starts to blossom into a really cool acoustic blues type of finger picking song. So that's the basics of how to play 100,000 Deaths. 2, 3, 4, 2. Don't you leaving me here. I don't want you walking out that door. I don't want you leaving me here. I don't want you walking out that door. 'Cause if you leave me, I'll die 100,000 deaths, and then I'll die 100 more. 99 more, 98 more. Don't you walk out that door. Is it getting a little chilly in here?